next, Uncle Bob gets some well-needed comeuppance, Dark Factory style.
This came to me because Mario Zechner tweeted recommended reading, and when he tweets that, I read.
You read that man.
You read
He's our
that
god. Mario Zechner, you are our rock god.
Yeah.
Super
But
cool.
this is, the title of it is The Code is Disposable, the Code Base is Not. This felt like a really, lovely purple-pilled blanket that I wrapped around myself. And it was a really well-written article and a nice read. And what it is talking about is that there has been this thing on Twitter, at least recently, about people talking about software factories and the idea of like comparing the agents building your software to like a lights off factory full of robots where they're, like the new factories that are out there that are just robots and we don't need to keep the lights on because there's no humans, so it doesn't matter. The robots don't need light. Mm-hmm. And the idea being that we can do software the same way. And this all started with Uncle Bob answering a question. Somebody posed the question. It's a very old interview question. And I don't know, Josh, I probably had heard of it, but I've forgotten about it. It's a pretty good question. When the question is there...
Oh, wait, hold on. So first, a couple things. First off, I don't know what you're doing over there, but I think you're hitting something, maybe the desk or something.
No, that's my kids running, sorry.
Okay. So second, I want you to turn your mic so that the tip of the mic is actually pointing at your mouth. It looks like it's kind of pointing. Is it pointing at your mouth or is it pointing?
It's mostly pointing at my mouth.
Okay. Then that's fine. Cool. Well, tell your kids to shut the fuck up, first off. You just earned another 30 seconds. Yeah, that's fine. Well, it's Sunday.
For
it's
a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old.
It's Sunday. Let the kids play.
You would think that Lawrence Taylor is up there running through my living room.
Yeah.
It is.
Back to Uncle Bob. Let's play
someone
interview.
posed
Let's
the
play
interview
role
question,
play.
and the interview
Let's play
question
role
is.
play.
Yes.
First off, well, I just want to tell you I'm really excited for the opportunity here. I know a lot about yelling at robots. I've been a follower and a fan. I have hit and liked that subscribe button, and it's just an honor to even have a chance to be part of the team. So that's it. Go ahead, ask your question.
Well, Josh, imagine you lose your entire software system, but you can recover one of two disks. One disk has all of the source code and the application logic, and the other disk has all of the tests. Which do you choose?
What kind of tests are they?
That's good. Good for you, buddy. That's a good question. See, you already got the job. But the answer was always yes. The answer is supposed to be, if it's a good test suite, you choose the tests because you can always rebuild the code. The code is only one possible implementation of the application, but the tests are what are more defining.
The tests express
what the software should do. They express what the software should do. Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, and Bobby, he answered this in the most 2026 way you could, which is basically, I don't look at the code anymore. Well, first of all, he started by saying, I'm significantly older than you. I started coding in the late 60s. He's like, yeah, thanks, guy. And my current strategy is to not read any of the code written by my agents. But then he goes on to like just be all like, I wrap it in all these tests and all these Gherkin things and QA procedures and quality metrics and blah, 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 blah. And I swarm around that code and I have absolute certainty in what in his always most profound way of saying things. And the writer of the article I think he's directionally right, which is probably true. Like that is, that's one way to look at it, but not understanding the code has its pitfalls and drawbacks. And he then compares it to Dex. What's Dex? Dex Horthy's?
Dex Horthy.
Yeah. So Dex Horthy published 2 excellent articles arguing for something that sounded like the exact opposite, but his message was pretty simple. As it says in the article, it says, turn the lights back on, read the code. Yep. And the idea here is really interesting. It's one that your harness isn't enough, and that you're like, he goes through some other metrics and stuff about production quality declining over the past 6 months to a year, and that like bugs are increasing and incidents are increasing. And this is like there are facts, like there are actual studies about this, and we've talked about them before here on the show. But what's really interesting is he talks about also too is that the way to do this stuff, which is very Zechner-esque, I think, is to move your judgment earlier, or what his thoughts are, like moving your judgments earlier in building these things. And that actually at the end of the day, the tests aren't enough, right? The tests are great.
Sure.
You should always have tested software, but tests give you feedback in seconds. Bad architecture sends the bill in months or years, right? And that's what Zechner is always talking about, like delayed pain. And that's true. Like you can, one of the really good quotes in here that I really loved was that, but what he's describing is like when you have these agents build these software systems, if you have no one thinking about the overall thing, like agents don't go in necessarily unless you have really good guardrails they don't go in and look at all of it and be like, oh, we should refactor this and move this around before I do this. They're like, oh, I know how to make this. Just change this here. And if you do that over and over and over and over, a locally disposable implementation can make a globally permanent mess.
Yeah.
I really like that quote. Yeah.
First off, that's beautiful, man. And that was Dex who was writing that, or that's
no, this is
the Itamar.
Friedman. I'm just gonna say Friedman. I'm gonna say
Friedman. Sure, no problem.
Yeah.
No, that's beautiful, and it is kind of like, so, random thoughts, shower thoughts. Oh, remember shower thoughts? Whatever happened to shower thoughts? Shower thoughts. So a few shower thoughts on that. LLMs can't reason.
Oh,
so
you need that meme, like.
What is that?
You know the meme when somebody, it's like the kids.
Oh, is that where the O's come out like that, or I don't know.
No, the story actually, the guy going back and forth and just doing this, and all his friends behind him are like, "Oh, you don't know this meme?"
No.
Oh my god.
I don't know if you know this. I'm an old grandpa, so Peckerwoods.
Hang on.
So LLMs can't reason, and they can't reason about abstraction. They can't think. They can't, like, the fact that we call, that it's that we've labeled it and named it in the software we've built around it as thinking and reasoning is a lie. It's doing token prediction. It's doing token matching and token prediction, which is fine. But that also means that it cannot, it can't look into your code base and look and see abstractions and pull them out and be like, oh, okay, that means this and this, that, and the other thing, and create it. It can simulate it, right? It can simulate it, but it can simulate it basically because it's seen other examples and trained on other examples that have done the same thing. So that's different. I think that's, I guess maybe like by that nature, I don't think that it's the kind of thing that it's just like, we'll make the model bigger and then we're winning. I think it's just some structural, fundamental aspects and limitations of these systems that it's like, anyways, I'm rambling now, but the whole point is, I do think that's an aspect. The ability to actually look at the high level and reason about those things is an aspect of human thought and capability that I don't think is going anywhere anytime soon. And indeed,
I agree with that.
Yeah, sure. If build a system that's trying to do something in a business domain or a problem space of any complexity, and we've been making boxes that we don't look inside of the code for 30, 40 years, and we're still trapped. So it's not like, and so, we can do that. We can get trapped 100x faster. Cool, man. Great.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I think you're right. But that is, and I guess for me, that is really connected to the complexity of the problem space. So case in point, I've been building this audio transformation pipeline for producing this podcast. It's mostly just wrappers around FFmpeg. It was really useful to use an LLM model because I don't know, FFmpeg, which we talked about the guy who built that, I think, not too long ago, or at least it came up on my radar. He's a French engineer. It's amazing. And this thing underlies 50% of the internet is built on top of FFmpeg, which I've never said out loud and I feel is a bit weird. FFmpeg. But, that's one tool for me doing production, and I have looked inside of the code, but not much, and it's I don't need to figure out how to map this Python abstraction to an from a peg, command line argument or something. It's like, it works, it doesn't work. I'll just have it do it again. It's not that big a deal. When you start reasoning about abstractions, higher level, things like, although even this thing now has gotten to the point at which it's like, it's like I have my confidence that the clanker is actually understanding or is able to make meaningful change or not screw it up, so I get stuck in down a cul-de-sac of not being able to come back, is declining as well, right? It's like, even as I'm asking it to make changes. And then of course the other aspect is like, every time I'm like, I mean, there are times when it's like, hold on a second, let me look at that code, and I'll look at it and I'm like, this makes no sense. Why are you doing this? And it's like, oh yeah, you're right. It makes no sense. Why have I done that?
You're right to push back. It's crap.
Yeah, and it's like, first off, and this at least has come up in certainly in kind of like readings and research and other people's writings, that these things build so much unnecessary complexity and flexibility into the systems that they're creating as well, where it's like, you'll make just an offhand comment and suddenly it's got a whole framework for managing variability and functionality that you never asked for, and does complicate the system and makes it harder to change and.
Prime's talk about, self-worth and like remembering like where your worth comes from. He gives the example of seeing an open source project where he was following or I don't know if it was open source. It was some project, and he was following like what was going on and like commits and stuff. And then at some point there was a decision made to fork Chromium, and he's like, "There's no world in which you should ever decide that."
No.
One thing in the article that really was interesting, he talks about. Well, he did, going back to the test question. He's got a section saying that in the AI era, we are revealed a third disk, and that disk holds the intent of the system, its architecture, its standards, its constraints, its important design decisions, and the accumulated judgment of the engineers who built it, which is like, I would argue that is actually more important than the tests. And if there's a way to encapsulate that and track that over time, it would be really good. I try to do that in projects at work, and we use like Context MD, and we use a few methods to try and pull that off. Mm-hmm. But it still doesn't listen sometimes.
Yeah. First off, check the links, folks. Read some of these articles, because I love this guy. Itamar, you are a gem. And in the end times, we are revealed a third disc. Like, that's just some nice writing. That's lovely.